I've seen the outcomes from it. We've seen positive outcomes from all these tech courses. People that have grown up to have gotten like really good careers just from learning on the internet, just from taking courses, self-paced courses on the internet. So it's not just hype; it's a step of the right direction. I think learning is in the doing. The way when you do something, you are more likely to connect the dots. It's more ingrained in you. So I don't think you can actually learn without doing. It's one thing to have the theory knowledge, but when you actually do the practical, the knowledge comes alive. 2024, 2025, 2030, there will still be project managers, even though it's going to evolve into different. We're going to learn new things, and we're going to change the way we manage projects. We're always going to be managing projects. So I did not say I pirated movies just for posterity's sake.
So before you go ahead and watch this episode of the Tech Culture Show, one of the things that I would like you to do for me is to just like this video. There are a lot of people that watch these videos, but they just watch this video without just paying us our own homage, which is like to just like the video. So I'd like you to just do that now. Just click the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. It is one of the things that helps YouTube know that this video is very useful and more people are going to see this video. We spend a lot of time and resources creating these episodes because we believe that we want to give you the information you need to be able to build a career and build a business in the ICT world. And that's what I've been doing on this channel for the last couple of years. Of course, if you have the time, you could also copy the link of this video and share it with others on your social media. And I'll let you get back to the main episode right now. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Tech Culture Show. And on this podcast, we specialize in helping you make money on the internet, and I help you accomplish that by speaking with professionals in different tech sectors, right, that come and share their experiences on the things you can do. So this podcast is not just about gist. We actually give very practical steps. I ask questions to the people I'm interviewing that would enable them come out and talk about specific things that you can do starting from today. So this podcast is the kind of podcast that you listen to, you watch, and you take notes, because it is not just pure entertainment. Yes, we try to make it fun, right? But we also want you to live with something tangible at the end. And today we're going to be talking about all things project management, all things product management, because I have my very good friend here, Andrew Kintum. Is a renowned project manager. He has experience across different sectors. He has done a lot of things. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's my pleasure.
Yes, so I know that you've done work in digital marketing, you've done work in events management, you've done work in, you now even run an NGO, you teach project management at Digital Skills School. I want to ask, is it curiosity that led you into these different paths, or you are just good at multitasking?
I think it's both. I wouldn't even say I'm good at multitasking. It's just one of those things that just come to play. But curiosity, yes. I think every time I've seen like an interesting opportunity, I've always been curious about it to actually go into it if I have the time. And a lot of things actually come off as interesting to me. So yes, curiosity really plays a large role. I like to test the limits of my ability and gain new knowledge. So that's led me into like the different fields you have mentioned, and even more than that. I think one of the other things I'm currently doing is business development. So I'm trying to gain practical skills, up my knowledge on it, and even engage in real life projects.
So I know that one of your major passions is education, right? You're doing a lot in the education space. So that's what your current NGO is all about. Can you just spend a minute to just tell us what your NGO is all about?
Okay, so first off, I think a lot of people have a picture when they hear NGO.
Okay.
So we try to refer to ourselves as a non-profit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
I mean, that's the American
thing.
way of saying it anyway. But,
yeah.
Okay.
So the name of the non-profit is Policy. Basically, what we do is we simplify policy and governance information for youth. So I like to say we do three things. It's not just the simplification. We make it easy to understand, make it simple to access, and we make it fun to engage with. So those are like three different things. So apart from making it simple to understand, we want to put it in platforms where youth are most domiciled, where you see a lot of youth. I want to make it, we are creating it in such a way that youth will be interested in engaging with it. When you look at the way the traditional media cover policy and governance information, it's not the same way that people of my generation, Gen Z or youth, really like to
Consume
consume
content.
content. So we
Yeah.
try to like create the content in that way. So like how you have your videos or you incorporate memes on TikToks, how you have your graphical elements, your
To make it
memes, yeah, to
engaging.
make it engaging, something that youth can really identify with and learn from.
So what I'm hearing in as you are explaining what your nonprofit is all about is education, and I realize that even when you teach for us at Digital Skills School, you are very, very passionate about teaching, and I know that from being your friend, from being close to you, that you have a passion for education, right? Now, I want us to focus on ICT education, tech education.
Okay.
Of course, currently in Nigeria and in most part of Africa, in the last couple of years, there's been this buzz about tech education, learning tech course. Is that a good thing? Is that a step in the right direction, or is just hype? Like people going to learn data analytics, people going to learn product management, people going to learn UI UX design. Is it all hype, or that is actually the step in the right direction in this time that we live in?
Okay, so answer that question, at least for me, it's multifaceted in the sense that it is what we do. Courses and getting education, tech education, is really the major point of it, or the major goal of it is to democratize education, to make it as accessible to as everyone
Yes.
as possible, which is very, very important. So I will not say it's just hype, in as much as I think we could go about it differently, in the sense that our background or the foundation is kind of faulty. People are not getting the primary
Basic
basic
education.
education. They're not even how to learn is being is we're not putting emphasis on that. But in the sense of the tech courses and the rest, it's very, very important. We have seen I've seen the outcomes from it. We've seen positive outcomes from all these tech courses. People that have grown up to that have gotten like really good careers
Yeah.
just from learning on the internet, just
Yeah.
from taking courses, self-paced courses on the internet. So it's not just hype; it's a step of the right direction. But I think as much as we're doing that, we can also can do more on the background, trying to get people to have the basics, trying to get people on how to learn. So I think that too is also very important.
How can people practicalize what they'll learn? So let's say, for example, people learn on YouTube and or they do a normal course that has certification, maybe like a 6 weeks course, an 8 weeks course, a 3 month course. What are some of the steps that people can use to practicalize and gain practical knowledge, practical experience?
Okay, so let me start with that question. So, what are some of the steps? I think people generally, human beings generally, um, it's not enough for us to just get theoretical knowledge. That's like something I keep saying. When you learn something in theory, when you read the book, you do the course, and you don't practicalize it, you don't learn as much. I think learning is in the doing. The way you when you do something, you are more likely to connect the dots.
Yeah.
It's more ingrained in you. So I don't think you can actually learn without doing. It's one thing to have the theory knowledge, but when you actually do the practical, the knowledge comes alive. You see things that you will not have necessarily seen, and it's more you are able to like do it more freely, and that's one. So how can they do it? I am a advocate for volunteering. I think if you look at my portfolio,
Yeah.
you will see a long list of
Of
check me out. You will see a
volunteering.
long
Yeah.
list of volunteering. Volunteer. I think that's one of the easiest way. And there's always new projects, new startups, new organizations that are always looking for
Looking for new
volunteers.
people. Yeah.
So that's the best way to like translate your
The
knowledge
knowledge.
into experience. You can also take up internships. You can work. You can get jobs, even if it's not as paying as much as you are, just to get that solid foundation. Because that's what really matters. Experience. Again, I will also emphasize it's not enough to just know it. Doing it and doing it well, and doing it at a good speed. Like not just no. It's one thing to know how to do it. You're taking 10 days. What's
Mm-hmm.
normal? So for you to be able to do it well and do it at a good speed, you need to have that experience. And your experience only comes from doing. So that's very, very important.
I guess my next question now is on project management itself. What would you say project management is in a 2024-2025 world? Like, and why is it so crucial in the world today?
Okay, that's very interesting. So I don't think project management is like very, very old. And I think it's very important. It's not an abstract field of knowledge. A lot of people do project management. There's nobody, as long as you're living your life, one way or the other, you've actually come into terms with project management. Some people even call their life a project, and you are
Mm-hmm.
basically managing it. So, project management is basically managing a project from initiation to completion, and at that point, trying to complete to get the outcome initiated, so whichever outcome it is. So it's very, very important in the sense that projects never end. Like, there are always new projects. As long as Earth is, we are always going to get new projects. So 2024, 2025, 2030, there will still be project management, even though it's going to evolve into different, we're going to learn new things, and we're going to change the way we manage projects. We're always going to be managing projects. So I think it's still going to be important 2024. You have a ton of new projects, whether government or private. And even though there's like some buzz around product management, because
Mm-hmm.
some product management and the product managers, like, they're the forefront of innovation, tech innovations,
Yeah.
your projects are still essential. I don't think one
I guess that
works
was my
well.
next question anyway, because I'm going to ask you project management versus product management, project versus product. Can you tell us what the difference really is? And if you're telling somebody today, go and learn, somebody's asking, which one should I learn? Which one should I go into? Which one would you advise, product or project?
Okay, so they have. I think they're different. It's very important to say they're different, but they have more similarities than differences. I think it depends on you as a person. It depends on you. The reason why I went, the major, I love project because um, I get to start and end it.
Okay.
That's like one of the things. You don't do that with product. Product
Mm,
has, even though it has a life cycle,
yeah.
it's not a predefined life cycle. Nobody knows, like, your YouTube product. Nobody knows except maybe the owner of Google. Nobody knows when it will
When
end.
it will end.
Nobody starts, especially product management in this time and age. We talk about tech products,
Yeah.
so tech products don't have that defined life cycle. That, okay,
Yeah.
we're starting this product now, and it's going to end in
Because
December.
Gmail is a product.
Yeah, Gmail is a product. So the project is not this. Okay, we're starting this, want to achieve this goal, and this is when it's going to end. You're basically going to plan it throughout this entire life cycle. That's
Okay.
like the difference. Product manager, I really love product management because, like I said earlier, it's at the forefront of innovation, tech innovation. Every tech innovation, in and out of itself, has some sort of product management, even though they might not have a traditional product manager. When you're coming up in a new product, a new innovation, product management, you follow some of the rules of product management. So, as per advice, I would think it depends on you. What do you want to do? What fits into your own aspirations, or your own already set
I guess it's
skills?
safe to say that what will motivate people, right, is how much they can make. I feel like in this part of the country. So who makes more? Project managers or product
Also,
managers?
I think it has been concluded. Everybody knows that product actually makes more. It's yeah, product makes more. There's no denying it. Like, product makes more. Especially when you look at that, they work mostly in tech companies,
Okay.
and then tech companies actually pay more on average.
Yeah.
You get, but that does not take away from project managers, and that does not take anything from project. You can actually earn a very, very good income in project management.
I want to get into project management today.
Yeah.
What are the steps? What do I need to know ahead of time about project management?
Okay. So, what do you need to know? I think the first thing is you need to realize that it is, like I said, it is not a new concept. Like, you have actually done project management at some point of time. Like, whether it was managing your own birthday party, you wanted to plan a birthday party, or a naming ceremony, or even your wedding itself is actually some
It's a
sort of
project.
project management. And people, event managers, are also project managers. So that, I think that's the first thing. So you already have some knowledge to it. It's just, okay, what are the best standard? What are the best practices that you are looking for? Then, second thing I will advise you is to do. You want to be a project manager, start, because project management is a very, very big um
Field.
field. Yes, it's
Why?
a very, very big field. Like I mentioned, event managers, you have people in construction, you have people in ICT. You need to know, okay, where you're specializing, and you need to do things in that system. When you do things with the idea that, okay, I'm a project manager, I'm responsible for the entirety of this project, you start to see things differently. You start to learn things, and as you're doing, also, like, pick up knowledge. As you're learning with experience, you also learn from the traditional this thing. You mix them up together, you learn faster. I think that's like the major advice I'll give. Then you also have to be resilient. And lastly, know that you cannot know everything. I think even project managers that are 15 years,
15 years experience.
they're still learning new things. So it's a growing, you grow, you grow, you grow. But at the end, if you are you're persistent, you would actually succeed.
Can you draw us like a career map? Like what I'm trying to say is, what is the career roadmap for a project manager? See, I'm starting today. I want to know the steps I'm to take. Are there courses I'm doing? Are there certifications I'm getting? Are there some things tools I need to know in terms of, so just draw me a picture of what my career will look like. Let me say in the first step, second step, or third step.
Yeah, so you will notice, I don't know if a lot of people have noticed, but like project and product, there are a lot of people that will argue that it's not an entry level role. And I don't agree, but they have valid reasons for it. It's not something that you just come out and say you want to be a project manager or product manager. Because if you want to be really good, you need to have some sort of domain expertise. That's like very, very important. But notwithstanding, you want to become a project manager, you graduate from school, you study this thing. I think the first step is for you to first off decide which industry you're specializing in, then start volunteering, interning in projects. It doesn't even have to be. I think the easiest for you, and that's even why I started out with, was events management. That's
Okay.
like the easiest start of projects.
Because
for
a
you.
lot of events are
Yeah, a
happening
lot of
every
events.
day.
You don't even need to even wait for your own event. I think I started off with my own
By
events.
organizing
Yeah,
your own
my own
events.
events, like
Yeah.
things I wanted to see happen.
Mm.
I went out and do it, and by that way, I got like a lot of
Experience.
experience and knowledge.
Mhm.
So you, as you're reading practicalize, you can start with event. You don't need to wait for anybody to give you a job or give you an internship or give you an volunteering opportunities. There are a lot of different events you could start out. You could even start out all those TEDx events, TEDx University of what, TEDx LinkedIn Local, career, what do they call them? Career events,
Yeah, career event, their career events,
career events
their
in US,
meetups, meet and
meetups. Like,
greets.
so
Yeah.
you could just start off with that, and you from there organize your team, start learning the principles of
Yeah.
project management. As you're learning, you're putting into practical. The next thing I would tell you is, I think this is something you also learn, is about like projects as people. You're managing people.
Mhm.
As a project manager, you are obviously not supposed to do the work by yourself. You are managing people that
Yeah.
will do the work, and you're doing the integration. It's very,
Yeah,
very
making sure
important.
everybody works well together.
Works together. There's alignment for the outcome you want to achieve. So you need to know how to get along with people.
Yeah.
You need to know how to manage people. That's like a very, very important part of project management.
Yeah, so of course there's also the need to want to, if you want to if you want to pursue it as a career professional, of course they might need to have some certain level of certification. You might need to possibly take a course, a fixed duration course. I know that for digital skill school, for example, right? Project management course is just like, let's say, 8 weeks, right? But of course there are other certifications. Can you mention some project management certifications that someone might need to have if they intend to pursue it as like get a job kind of career?
Okay, so I think in Nigeria, yeah, there is a focus on experience, as with almost every other industry.
Okay.
There's a focus on the experience. So the experience is really, really needed. The courses are a plus. So you need to understand that the courses are a plus. But I think a lot of people fall into the assumption that okay, they just get the certification without the knowledge, without the experience, and they get the
Yeah.
job. That does not happen. Like, even you don't even want that to happen, because you will get the project. You, even if you get the role, you will flop at it.
Yeah.
So like that's a very, very important distinction. But as per knowledge, and I want people to approach courses and certifications on okay, this certification will give me the knowledge I need to manage a project well, to manage a project to get the outcome intended, alongside the constraints. You are not overpassing your budget.
Okay.
You're the same scope, the same quality. So I
Yeah.
want you people to look at it that way. When you look at it that way, you will see that there are a lot of courses. I think the one I would advise for, apart from digital skill schools that help out the entry learners and project managers, You have the Google Coursera project management course. Very, very important. I advise people to get on that. And then as an intermediate level, you can try your hand at the PMP from Project Management Institute. If after 3 years of experience, that's also a very, very intensive course. I would even advise, if you have done with the Coursera course, even if you are not an intermediate, start learning about the PM. We call it the Project Management Book of Knowledge. So start researching about it, start learning about it. Even if you don't intend to take the PMI, what you will learn a lot from reading that book. You will learn a lot from reading that book.
How do you identify a successful product or project manager? Is it by the number of projects they've done? Is it by the skills they have? What will you see in somebody to say, okay, this person is a successful project manager or product manager?
Okay, so I would look for projects and even products. So project manager, we don't work with deliverables. And I think the same thing with product manager. In as much as the deliverables help you to guide to the outcome, it is very, it's very possible that you might actually get all the deliverables, but you don't get the outcome.
Okay.
That's like, there's two different things. You can get the output, but you don't get the outcome.
Can you give us a practical example?
Okay, so I'll use my policy as an example. So we're non-profit. So what we try to do, again, explain, simplify policy and governance information. The outcome we're looking for is active citizens. We're looking to get youth active, be actively involved in governance conversation. So how are we doing that? We're providing them the information to get them. Yeah, educating them to get them to become actively involved in governance. It's possible that we can push out all the content and nobody's becoming active. You get?
Yeah.
And that is not a metric of success. Because say you have pushed out on TikTok, we have done all the videos, we've done all the podcasts, but nobody is becoming active. Nobody is becoming.
They're not using that information.
They're not using that information. So the outcome is like the most. That should be your North Star metric.
Okay.
That is the project manager, is the product manager actually achieving that outcome. So that's like the only distance. Every project and even for products too, they actually have an outcome, a result, a goal they want to see. So the deliverables, in as much as they're good, they should help you guide, but there are some times where you would have, like, things change now. There's sometimes that something will change and your deliverables is not in alignment with your outcome. So you can't say, okay, I'm a great project manager, I delivered on my deliverables. We published 10 content on TikTok, we pushed on social media, we did a podcast, or you looked around and your content has not helped anybody. How is it affected? What is the outcome? So if I'm going to judge anybody, we're like, okay, well, look at the project. Did he achieve his intended outcome? If it's actually, you're a great project manager, you look at the results. Like, is the outcome that's just the main thing? Then you look at other factors. Was it did the person manage the project according to costs? If he did not, why did he not manage it? Was it this what we call the scope, the entirety of what you're supposed to do? Yeah. Did you do less or did you do more than intended? In project manager, we don't do more than intended. I think that's the same. We don't actually do more than intended, but did you do less than intended? Why did you do less than intended? But the first metric is the outcome. Did you meet the outcome?
Just like, for example, this podcast, just like I said at the beginning, that the purpose of this podcast, the outcome is to ensure that when you watch this podcast, you are able to take notes, you are able to use act on the information to get yourself financially independent, either by putting what we are saying into practice, on from the career part, from the business, or from the business part. So if after doing this podcast for like 1 year and we don't start seeing testimonies of people saying, oh, I watched your podcast and I registered for this course, or I watched your podcast and I started this business, or I implemented this, then it means that maybe we've not hit our outcome, but we were hitting the deliverables.
Yes. So the outcome is very important. I keep telling people, let that be anything you're doing. How are we hitting this outcome? It's very, very easy for you to get sidetracked. That what we need to do is push 5 contents,
5 episodes
per month, and you're pushing it out, but like you're not getting the outcome. And I think for non-profits, it's even more difficult. It's even more possible. I will not use difficult because for profit companies, if you're not meeting the outcome, they show you are not making profit. It's in your financial statement, But what's that we don't? Our goal is not making profit. Like we actually look at it's impact based. So like it's very easy that if you are not measuring, you can sidetrack it and just do. And I think a lot of project managers like fall into that trap of just these are the deliverables. I'm a project manager. I just want to get the deliverables, and at the end of the day, they are not making sure that deliverables is in alignment to the outcome. You finish your project and the outcome is not has not been achieved.
So on a more lighter note, I guess it's my last question. And of course, you guys know that I'm a movie fan, and I always ask every guest on this show what they are currently watching, what's their favorite movie. The only person I didn't ask is Mr. Olayinka Williams. Olayinka Williams is a serious man, so I didn't ask him. But I want to talk about the movie you're currently watching. Now, I know that you like Game of Thrones. Of course, who doesn't like Game of Thrones? I like Game of Thrones. But you also like some movies that I've not heard about. Okay, one of the movies you talked about that I've heard about, but I've not had the chance to watch is Ted Lasso. It's not a very popular movie, but it's a very interesting movie. And I know some few people that are watching it. So give us a rundown on what Ted Lasso is all about.
Okay, so it might actually sound cringe, and I keep telling people that for Ted Lasso, okay, so Ted Lasso is the movie is about the character Ted Lasso. The series is about the character Ted Lasso. He left the United States, I believe, to come and coach a team in the United Kingdom. Coach a football team in the United States. So he's a football coach. So it's about his life and the football team. So I keep telling people about that. Like, Ted Lasso is not, if I knew him personally, he's not somebody that I'll be friends with. I find it very cringe, like very, very, very cringe. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Is it like it's funny or it's weird or?
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. And he has this do-gooder attitude. Like he's a very, very serial do-gooder. I think like for Nigerians and how we have been conditioned, we are very suspicious of people that are just moving like that. So I tell people that it's a very cringe person. But when you watch the movie, you actually like you'd really, really like it. Ted Lasso, and I even want to talk about it, but Ted Lasso he exhibits there's something we call servant leadership in project management. You see it a lot in Ted Lasso when you're trying to like you're managing people. It's not just directive. You do this, you do this. You trust that the people that you're managing have sense. They're actually capable. And you be like, okay, what is stopping you from achieving your potential? What is stopping you from helping us achieve this outcome? And I'll try to
help you
do it. So this Ted Lasso, New Amsterdam, this guy, Max Goodwin in New Amsterdam, 2 series I'm currently watching, they exhibit that servant leadership traits, which very, very helps me as a project manager. And it's not just, I think when you say servant leadership, you can actually turn to buzzword, but is that there's this empathy you see in the movie that like I also want to like learn. I'm not the best in connecting with people, but they exhibit it. And when you are that type of leader, people trust you, they want to follow you. So that's why like I really enjoyed the movie.
Let me ask a question now, because I know that Ted Lasso is an Apple service. Did you download it from Telegram? Because I know you don't have an Apple TV subscription.
I reserve to comment.
No, you're going to comment. I'm not going to allow you to. I'm not going to let you go. Did you download it from Telegram? Where did you download it from?
Okay, I can categorically say that I did not download it from Telegram.
Download it from where? Well, I know you now. You don't have an Apple TV subscription. So how did you watch Ted Lasso?
No comment.
Hacker boys. Don't joke with tech boys. So I don't know. I don't know how they are getting their series from. I have a Netflix subscription, so I don't watch anything outside Netflix. So I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't download movies.
I did not say I pirated movies just for posterity's sake.
Anyway, I mean that's about what we have time for today. The Tech Culture Show. We like doing high five at the end of our show.
Hi, guy.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on the Tech Culture Podcast. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you've been enlightened. You've learned something about project management and the career path in project management. I want you to subscribe to this channel. It helps us to grow. Hit the like button. It helps more people to find this episode. And leave a comment on this podcast to talk about what you learned in this podcast and possibly ask questions that Andrew Kinsum could jump on and answer. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the very next episode of the Tech Culture Show.